When you're just getting started with the European Accessibility Act, it really helps if you understand the different sections in the Act and what they mean. And so that's what we're going to go over now. On the screen with me is a blog post titled Zooming Out on the European Accessibility Act, What Each Section Means. And so we're just going to scroll down until I get to background and context. And so this is the recitals section of the directive, and it's paragraphs 1 through 104. And if you're just getting started, I recommend going ahead and skipping this for now. And it's not because there are no important paragraphs in this, in what is the beginning of the directive. It's because you can come back and reference these later. So we haven't got to the actual obligations and requirements. And so here, this is going to help you with give you context for the rest of the directive. It's going to give you clarification on any sections that you might need help interpreting. And part of that is the recital section contains the intent and purpose behind the legislation. And not all of the paragraphs are going to be relevant for everyone. So this is a long section. I recommend going ahead and skipping past this for now and then coming back to it as you need it. So scrolling down, I have articles 2 and 3, and here we have the scope and the definitions. So the scope is it's going to tell you what is covered. So what are the products and services covered? And then the definitions are really important. You'll find yourself coming back to the definitions because the definitions tell you what all of the different terminology used in the directive means. So two really important sections here. And then scrolling down, we come across Article 4, which talks about accessibility requirements generally, but references the annexes section. And the annexes section is in the second part, the bottom part of the directive. And it's going to, annexes 1 and 2 specifically cover the technical requirements. So the what to do for accessibility, actual accessibility, that is in the bottom part of the directive. And so you're going to find it in annexes 1 and 2, but here we just have a reference to it in Article 4. And then in Article 7 through 13, we get the obligations of the different supply chain players. When I say supply chain players, this is what the EAA refers to as economic operators. So manufacturers, importers, distributors, and service providers. This is a very, very important section. When I say obligations, think of administrative work or paperwork. And so with obligations, just remember it's more on the paperwork and administrative side. It's not the technical side. But these are items that are required for compliance. Skipping down, we have Article 14. This gets into the exceptions and limitations that may be present for you as an economic operator. So here I have 2 bullet points. The fundamental alteration of products or services, or the disproportionate burden on manufacturers or service providers. Here you'll just want to look at this section and see if any of these exceptions apply to you. Scrolling down, we have Articles 16 through 22, which include CE marking and market surveillance. So this is going to cover how to declare compliance through CE marking, the process for CE marking, how authorities are going to check on compliance, and what some of the consequences are for non-compliance. And then now we get to the technical requirements, so the annexes section. And so I talked about in Annex 1, here we have the technical requirements for making products and services accessible. And then we are given a few examples. In Annex 2, here we have practical examples to help you understand how to meet the technical requirements. This is just as important as Annex 1 because it really helps give you guidance, practical guidance on what these technical requirements are asking for. So this is very, very helpful. And then in Annexes 4, 5, and 6, we get back more into the administrative side. So Annex 4 is going to talk about the conformity assessment procedure. Annex 5 is going to talk about what information service providers must include in their terms and conditions. And then Annex 6 is going to outline the criteria for assessing disproportionate burden, and it will include also formulas for calculating cost and determining whether the threshold has been met. So this is a really good overview of the directive. Obviously, there are many more details, but before you get started, and it's really difficult to just read right through the directive. This will help give you context as you are reading through it, as you are looking for what are your obligations and what are your requirements. And that is really how I recommend thinking about the EAA. Is there is a one part which is the obligations, think of the administrative and or paperwork side, and then the other part that is the technical requirements, and that is the requirements for actual accessibility. So if you need help with EAA compliance, feel free to reach out to me at accessible.org. I will include a link in the description. Also, in the coming weeks, probably in the next week or so, I will have a really, really helpful product for EAA compliance. There is absolutely nothing like this in the marketplace. So that is coming out soon and it will be announced on this channel. So I will include links and information for everything in the description for this video.